Am I on?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. Um, this is the 29th of March, 2023. The legacy of Master Guide Kiriel and Master Kahu Fred Sterling continues. I am Patty Athena Sterling, and I will try my heart's best to facilitate carrying the conscious creator legacy forward. Thank you for your love and support and your determination to age your soul. From the mountaintop of the beautiful ancient Lemuria, greetings of aloha and welcome, conscious creators, in the love and the light of Master Guide Kiriel. Here we have a chair, or here on my left is Kahu Fred Sterling. And can you feel his energy? He is there listening to us right now. And on the left, this is my left, and this is the right end. Master Kiriel is here. He is holding the light of the healing bow. I can feel the light presence of their truth, trust, and passion, and their truth, trust, and passion will guide us today. And I'm very, very honored to be sitting here in their light. Today's topic of discussion: how did the Lemurians think about abundance? This topic was inspired by Kahu and Kiriel to heal by and to raise our awareness as to the importance for being a conscious creator. I have invited Aldine, Gail, and Corinna, Susanna to take part in today's discussion. Let us all take a deep breath together in love and gratitude as I send you my love and gratitude from the mountaintops of Lemuria. Like you, I'm passionately and consciously doing the healing journey from creating from the space of fear and back into consciously creating in love. This is the process of aging the soul and the life on earth. It has been my experience that when I focus on healing me first, magically my world shifts for the better. And Master Kiriel and Kahu has always said to me, that it's always my life and conscious creator's life is all about healing. Love and gratitude for the privilege of your time. Welcome to another opportunity to heal and to widen your scope of understanding on how to navigate and steer your journey as conscious creators through this time of the great upheaval. So let's take another deep breath. And let us take advantage of this time together to heal and love together in raising our soul age. Love and gratitude to new and returning members of Conscious Creators. Love and gratitude to those like Gail, Jan, who makes this event possible on Earth. Thank you for your commitment, Gail, to illuminate your truth, trust, and passion on this journey, moving onward during this great shift in consciousness. The journey of love is always about healing on all four bodies: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. We do this earth journey to evolve our love, to age our soul. Together we continue our quest as conscious creators to get a deeper understanding of the healing powers of the collective oneness of hearts. As we collectively stand in our truth, trust, and passion. Wow, can you feel Master Kiriel's energy? We shift our personal world and the planet Earth. Since Kahu's departure from this physical Earth, I have had a deeper understanding of this truth. What you see with your physical eye isn't everything. Don't be blinded by what you see. keep in mind the essence of what lies beyond that. Today's topic, how did the Lemurians think of abundance? As I read the focus for this program, please take a deep breath and breathe in the magnificent love and light of for yourself, Kahu and Kiro, who is present with us today, and allow yourself to remember your Lemuria. So remember your Lemuria. Amazing. Kahu and Kira continues to be an extraordinary healer from where they currently hail from. They have not left us, conscious creators, in our quest to be the best we can be during the great shift in consciousness. We each have a special role in this shifting times, especially now and the next 2 years. We each have a piece of this huge puzzle to bring forth. Your specialness to soothe the soul of people that is in front of you is your quest, comforting them and assuring them that everything is fine and getting better, and that we are always at the right place at the right time, solving the mysteries of our life journey on earth during this exciting time of this great shift. So as I read this to you on the subject, how did the Lemurians think about abundance? I hope you have prepared for this, but for those of you, this is why I'm reading it, so you have a more of a foundation on where, and let while I'm reading this, let this information seep into your heart, and then your heart will take it to your cells, into your brain, and will and distribute it throughout the cells of your body too, and then your cells will awaken to this truth. So this is conscious creators is also a healing process. So we all take a deep breath and think of yourself back in the ancient Lemuria when you knew this, what abundance was all about. So Kiro says, dear conscious creators, the Lemurians didn't exactly thrive towards abundance. They accepted that they were abundant. They never looked at what they didn't have. They only looked at what they did have. And they knew whatever they had was the stepping stone to whatever they desired. You see, the Lemurian society some 50,000 plus years ago was already keenly aware that everything was a manifestation of thought. They held to this truth. You might think that they were a society that didn't make jokes or didn't have fun. Oh, they did, but they never made a joke about lack. They never made a joke about lack. They never used it as a joke. In fact, they never made fun of or said something that may be considered today as a joke. If they had said something from their lips, they knew that whatever they said was sacred. So you say, well, that sounds like a bit of a boring society, doesn't it? No, because sacred to them meant that it was a life force. Wow. Sacred to them meant it was a life force. Can you imagine that? They thought everything that they said was sacred to the life force. So they were always extremely careful of what they said. So I say to you, my friends, what was different between Lemuria and now? Well, now you got the matrix. Back then, they didn't have the matrix. They simply chose every word as a thought. We're going forward, going to manifest. Wow, that's so interesting. Can you all hear that? They simply chose every word as though it was going to manifest. They knew that if they erred in some fashion and said something like, "Oh, I think this little itch over my eye is going to turn into a headache," lo and behold, in a matter of moments, they will be having a throbbing pounder here. So they never said that. Instead, they had a little itch above their eye. They said, "Oh, I have dissipated that itch above me, and it is ready, on the way, gone." And you know what? If that itch began to turn into a bit of a headache, they didn't think that they made a mistake. They didn't think that they missed the boat, so to speak. They simply went further and began to look inside where the throbbing was, and then they began to use the magic of their time. The magic of their time. Wow, what is that? Cool. Oh, I mean the magic of your time. They began to use the lights. They began to use the sound. They began to use whatever was necessary to make the headache go away. The Lemurians were careful to think only of what they wanted, not what they didn't want. Hence, they are abundant all the time. To read more on, this is an awesome book, chapter 3. If you're really serious about being a conscious creator, especially the next 2 years, because your thought is going to manifest. Our thoughts is going to manifest quickly, whether it doesn't know whether it's positive or negative. It's just going to it's going to manifest quickly. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why Master Carol and Kahu chose this subject right now, because something about the next 2 years that's great upheaval, but we don't focus on that. And we try to be out of the matrix, that's the yin and yang matrix, as much as possible. But it takes a concerted effort, I feel, and to be around. I'm really fortunate to be around a goddess group, and that when I see them, they always remind me to be in my goddess light. So this is what this program is about. This is what our Sunday service is about. Together we can heal and be really try to practice to be in the moment, the actuality of now. It is in the Master Carol's prayer for the beauty, the church, the 2 words, be in the actuality of now. That is like, I've been reading that prayer for like a year over, every day, 2 times a day, and it still baffles me into understanding what does that actuality of now mean. And as I heal, as I begin to heal, take my healing, take my consciousness of being conscious creator to new levels, I begin to understand what the actuality of now is about. So we have this panel here, and Gail, when you have a big aha, I'd like for you to share as well, because she's always behind. Gail, you're always behind the camera, and the last time we had last Conscious Creator, I mean, you came up with some gems that you need to hear. And also, Aldine, I discovered something new about Aldine. She's our scientist. So she has a scientist mind, so I'm trying to encourage her to channel somebody like Einstein. So, ladies, how did the Lemurians think about abundance? Any thought? Share your thought.
I'm in the green light.
Well, you know, when I think back of my life with Kahu, he always, he hardly set goals for himself, but yet his journey was he was always, in the flow of his plan, so to speak, his blueprint. And it really irritated me when he says, "Oh, I'm done with this. Let's do this. I'm done with this. Let's do." Or he wouldn't even say, "Let's do this. This is what I'm going to do. I want you to follow me."
And we all followed him.
So, as I think about it, he really believed that he was always in the flow of abundance. Of course, he had to juggle the matrix of the yin and yang, but I think he did it well. And it's interesting that both him and Kirill inspired me to bring this forth to you. They choose a subject. So, how is your life? How is your life? Do you think we could do this?
I think that this whole concept of aging your soul is actually paralleled to you keeping your thoughts in abundance. So as you age your soul, because we're in the third dimension, so we're going to have times where our thoughts are not in the abundance side. But if you think about aging your soul, then that is one of the practices, that's one of the ways that you can see the world. Because people see the world differently, even if everyone is 20/20 vision with glasses.
Right,
but I mean,
yeah.
but you see the world and you interpret situations differently.
Sure, based on your lens.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the world is going to reflect our belief system, right? So the world we have around us is a reflection of what I believe. It mirrors for me that belief system.
That's true. And since Kahu left this earth plane, I stopped watching the news because I realized, the politics, and I decided it's not my game anymore. I was during the past 4 years, Kahu and I was so, into the CNN. But in that four-year period, I got to understand the government, how the government works, and it's in the matrix. They have its own matrix. As our families, within our family, we have our own matrix,
Right.
and it's a matrix. When one tries to, raise their consciousness, for the better, the existing matrix within the family can draw you back in. So we have to be conscious of that too, right? So there's different matrix. What I really realized, was that the planet Earth is so huge, and I can choose to what plane of consciousness that I want to create in. Isn't that wonderful?
And you can be.
You can be, right,
Yeah,
right.
I like the be.
But of course, first we got to heal, right? Because otherwise, I find myself going back and forth. This thing about abundance, I was brought up based on lack, So, or in fear that I don't have enough. I don't have enough this and I don't have enough that. But I'm saying, enough of this. So this brought me to more, to really think about my creation. I look at movies. I go, wow, people are so creative. They can create anything. This is what the world is about. Why can't I?
That's a good point, because when you were reading that, I was thinking there was a session with Kahu Master Kirill a while ago, called "Your Thoughts Define Your Abundance."
Yeah.
Which is just a perfect parallel to what we're talking about, because the abundance is an issue of healing. That's a healing plan. It's a lesson plan, right? And the Lemurians participated in it in a certain way, right? They knew they were abundant, so they didn't have it be an issue for them. They knew how to be abundant. There wasn't this yin yang, I have it or I don't have it. They had it. They had what they wanted. It's a beautiful thing to be in that state of knowing you have everything that you need, and if you needed something, you could create it. Like you said, the creation, right? It's beautiful.
It is. So, yeah, conscious creators. You got to think about that. We don't have to stay in our, and sometimes we have to, even with our belief, that newly belief that replaced old religious belief. Sometimes we have to let go of that, right? Right. For example, what is goddess? Sometimes what we think is goddess today, we have to let it go. The definition of what is goddess, right? To bring forth new information, new thoughts about what goddess is, right? Yeah.
I have a feeling about goddess, and my interpretation of it, I guess, could change. But I think I go to the basic that goddess is the love and the loving power of the Creator. God, that's goddess for me.
What if the goddess is creator?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It is creator.
So creator then
Right.
is a part of goddess, or creator of goddess part of?
We are all a part of creation, right? So we're all goddess.
So what we're trying to say, I think, is that the questions never stop, right?
Right.
When we are evolving soul, the questions never stop. So I'm excited about this whole world. I don't have to be part of the political arena. I don't complain about them because it doesn't help to complain, right? I just shine my light, heal the self, heal the world, and I'm so elated that they're the new generation, the new babies that's coming forth. They have it. They have what it takes to change the world. And all we have to do is love them. And all we have to do is love ourselves enough, to create the things that we want to create and enjoy this world. What do you guys think?
I think I like the word that was in there, stepping stones.
Yeah.
We created the stepping stones, and the scaffolding, like building a scaffold for a house, or those were the words that I grew up. I had embraced as a beginning teacher, that whatever I do with the children, whatever I say, whatever I value, is a stepping stone and the scaffolding for each child's life and society. And sometimes it gets frustrating because I've been in the early childhood field for years, and they would say, oh, the 80s is going to be the year that they're going to change. They're going to embrace the early childhood values. 80s came and went. They're still not making the laws.
But you know why? I
want to say, so those were the stepping stones. And as I was reviewing what was going on in the world, I said, what are the stepping stones that I created to create, and what kind of abundance was I looking for?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I shifted that question, then I started seeing things in a different way. And then I thought of Fred Rogers' quote after 9/11, and he said, when the United States and the world was in turmoil because of 9/11. And everybody said, what's this world coming to? And he said, look to the people that are helping. Let's look at the people that are helping. And that's where we put our focus. That is the abundance. And then I started seeing the people that were helping. And then that took my focus away.
Okay.
And then Kahu and Master Krill said, okay, every day at 12 o'clock, we're going to say peace prayer. And it's kind of like, I don't do it every day, but I still do it sometimes where my alarm goes off at 11:59 and
Okay.
I go, okay, let's do the prayer.
Okay.
You know.
So,
You know,
those
yeah,
are the
wait,
stepping stones.
You
wait,
know,
wait,
just
hold on.
just something she said.
Yeah.
This was 20 years ago that happened,
Yes.
that there was the invasion. And I still remember Kahu saying in the old church at Kapiolani, we're going to pray for peace. We're going to stand for peace. And we had that 12 o'clock peace prayer every time. And that was the beginning of really Kahu's peace warrior kind of time, where
So-
he really came forth.
So
for
then
peace.
I ask, why don't you continue at
Why-
12 o'clock?
Why don't we continue?
Yeah, why don't we continue in our own space?
It's a good question.
Yeah. So so you talk about, Sue, you're from the education system, and every time we have a family gathering, the teachers get together and complain about their system. And still to this day, it hasn't improved. Because there's a matrix. Got to understand, there's a matrix in everything, in every group, that has to be broken. But what breaks it is love. So when I was thinking when the teachers came together, complain about this, complain about that, and it's the same thing that I hear, and I'm going, wow, where is that happening in my own life? You know, and then I realized everything has a matrix. Within this church, there's a matrix, you know. So that's why it's always good to say, okay, where do I need to change this to get a different result, right? The thought.
You know, you're talking about, for me, I agree with you about the matrix and about the school system and all of that. But I think the more positive way of looking at that would be the young children that are being born and what Master Carroll called the shift kids, the shift children. And these are the children that are going through the school shootings, they're going through whatever's going on, but they have the love, like you said, that's going to shift our world. They're the ones, we're going to leave. Our boomers are going to be gone. But that generation is the generation that will live in the new earth, right? It will elevate the whole matrix of love on this planet.
Right.
I really believe that.
I believe that too. So, you know, and I think every person, like our age group, the baby boomers, I decided it's not my thing to change the millennials. The only way that I can change is my love. You know, consciously create my love and share that love. And then I'm not out there to change people's mind.
Mhm.
And you know what? It's working. And that's what I share. And I think that's the magic. This, Dean loves saying, it's magical. It's magical. And she's not, I don't think you ever tell me that your intention is to change someone, right?
I think what happens on a quantum physical level
Yes.
is that
Here's the scientist.
we send these vibrations that define our love, and we send it to the ethers, and people gather, all of those people who have the same, I guess we could use intention for lack of a better word. It goes into the ethers, and then it keeps building and building and building. And then there's some person over here that's just thinking, and then pop, all of that love pops into that person, and then they start to feel the vibration, and that feeling of the vibration allows them to look at situations differently and then share the love. So there are these quantum fields that start to happen.
Yes, I know that, and that the question, and the topic of discussion is how did the Lemurians think about abundance? And I think Sunday service is I think we're more, I think we don't say it's the Lemurian way of life, but it's getting to be that way. You know, we bring our community together to share the love, and whoever out there is willing to receive, the cells of the body receives the love, right? It's not the local brain, but everyone that's tuned into our service or to now has this desire to make a change in their life and look at their life differently. Yeah. So there's a matrix that I love what they mentioned. Carol mentioned about the matrix. There's a matrix in everything, you know, that we have to overcome. But the only thing that overcomes, right? Yes, the only thing that overcomes is when you do not complain about the matrix.
Yeah, right? Well, I mean, even the fourth dimension has a matrix. I mean, there's all sorts of matrices, right? You're talking about the third dimensional matrix. And
yeah, in family dynamics.
Right. So that's was going to be my question. I feel that working what you were saying in my personal life, that, you know, you're talking about going out, but when we heal ourselves and we find ourselves more and more in love and less in fear, it affects the people in our families, in our neighborhood. The whole vibration is elevated out of fear, and we can consciously create the abundance that we're talking about right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gail?
Just from the chat room, Anne.
And
So Anne said, well, I put out a question, do any of you have a share?
Yeah.
So Anne said, I'm just happy to hear talk about love.
Awesome.
hey, it's all about love.
It is. It is all about love. It's all about the I know, and all about the we know. Do we know it's all about love? When the collective I know comes together, becomes the we know. I love this part. It is a collective consciousness of love. I mean, so thank you, Anne. Beautiful.
What I like about that, and you're going to say something about it too, but what I like about it is it takes, because I mean, it's so natural, it's so human to want to blame somebody else for my predicament or whatever is going on, right? To blame the husband or blame the brother or blame my sister or blame somebody. But if I'm in love with myself more and more, I don't find anyone to blame. I just love everybody. And I think that's where Kao got to that point where he said that.
Okay,
I love everybody.
What is the meaning of why do you love everybody? Why?
Because they're a reflection of me.
Okay, and everybody has their own journey to do, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then we do not have the right to say, oh, you're doing this wrong or you're doing this right, you know?
Right, so I would look within myself to find out, you know, how do I consciously create maybe a better life? Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Right? And pray, and this is what's happening is the people in my family go with me. They're going with me, and that's really beautiful.
What do you mean going with you?
We're creating a beautiful life together, and I'm happy. And I wasn't always happy. I'm happy. And I think that's something that I've strived for, but all of a sudden it's happening.
Yeah, because when we first started with Master Carol and this great shift, And he said, oh, these great upheavals. And I go, I was really scared, you know? I'm
You're
going,
like,
oh my God, how can we be happy?
let's get the canned food.
Yeah. So, 30 plus years, I'm really happy to be happy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so take a look at your own abundance. And we have within ourselves our Lemurian legacy. And this book, The Great Shift in Consciousness, if you read this book
Yes, get this
multiple times, it will awaken you to your own ancient Lemuria.
It's a very special book.
However, the ancients, yes, you have ancient wisdom that you can build upon, creating a new society, so to speak, right? What do you guys think of that? So we are abundant.
I want to address what you said about the matrix, the different kinds of matrix. For me, when I heard the word matrix and I saw the movie and it was a matrix meant negative, but you said something, there's different kinds of matrix. And it's even in the fourth dimension, even the fifth dimension.
Sure.
So now I'm going to put out there, what if we create a matrix of love?
Yes.
Thank
that's
you,
it.
Anne. We create the matrix of love.
Yes.
And I remember this discussion that I had with Reverend Carroll years ago. And we talked about this as we weave the love, the strands of love goes within the matrix. So I don't want to use the word overpower, but the strands of life light up whatever matrix is there.
Weave with it.
So there's a different understanding of what the life matrix is. So the way I see it is what we've done as a church and working with Master Curel and Kahu was learn to understand this matrix of love. What is love? You know, what does love look like? What does love feel like?
What?
And so that's the thing. And I've had a conversation with one of our neighbors who, Daddy keeps telling me all I have to be in love. What is love? You know, and he didn't grow up with the kind of love that Kahu and Master Curl was talking about. So people have different ideas of what love is and what love feels like. I'm going to hit you because I love you. You know, there's cultures that will say that. I'm hitting you because I love you.
But yet we are not, it's not our place to make that judgment.
Well,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is that this is what I've heard as working people with domestic violence
Yeah.
issues. This is what they said.
I,
That my parents love me, that's why they hit me. So that's a kind of matrix, you know. So that's the confusing thing, is what is love? They have an abundance. You know, what is their abundance of love in their view? What is their experience of love? So what Kahu and Master Kriel introduced to us is to focus on the other side, or a different view of a more, you call it unconditional love, a more expansive love. And you said it, it's important for me to learn to love myself.
okay,
So
it's my thinking now, I'm thinking. Does matrix have anything to do with love? You said you want to infiltrate the matrix.
Yeah.
Do we?
I think
No, I
that's
don't
a
know. I
good
don't
point.
agree with that.
Okay,
Infiltrating the matrix. I think the only person that you can change is yourself, right? And whatever you express to the other person is what it's the extent of what you do. Everything that you do is an extension of your love, right? Whether it affects a matrix or affects another person, but if you come from pure love, it will affect the person, right? But is it our judgment to say, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this so the person will change? I'm gonna do this for you, or so the matrix can change.
so a matrix, and Aldine can correct me on this, A matrix is a patterning of thought. So there could be all sorts of, in the Matrix movie, you saw the numbers fall, right? And that was the third dimensional, I think, representing the third dimensional patterning of thought. But when you go to the reason I know this is those days when Silver Wings, you and I and the others were releasing matrix hooks that were anchoring the third dimensional matrix to Mother Earth. But we did put in one fourth dimensional matrix hook. So that said to me, oh, at that time, there's another matrix that is coming onto our planet that would be more in love, a higher level of love awareness than and then fifth dimensional would be a higher level. So that's how I understood the matrix. So matrix can be any patterning of thought. So to get to what you were saying, Patty, then we all will exist in some sort of matrix. Our life, our patterning, the way we think, how we participate in life will be in some sort of matrix patterning. When we create when we have the love within us, I'm feeling that we elevate ourselves into a higher level of love, thoughts of love. And that would be like approaching the Christ light, which is loving thoughts of Creator. Right?
You think?
I think.
Well, that's your thinking.
And I think
you have enough people to think like you, therefore it is, right?
Mm-hmm. And
what if another person doesn't think like you?
I don't care. You think I care about that? This doesn't matter to me.
So you're creating a matrix based on your thought, and you're sharing that thought to create that matrix, to make it stronger, right?
I'm praying that by being who I am and continuing to heal myself and age my soul, that it will also assist other people in the world.
My question is for myself. You have that thought, but when I think of matrix, it's another box.
Oh.
It's another box that we put ourselves in. But maybe because when we understand that what's in that box, then we evolve ourselves to go to expand that boundaries of that so-called matrix, and that's what we're doing.
Or you can release all the matrix and be like Kahu and just leave the body. Because I think when we're in a body, we are living in some sort of matrix.
I disagree with you because he lived his life. In my own observation of, he didn't have to die to remove himself from the matrix. He could do that anytime. He could do that anytime. And when I realized that too late, as I think back in my time with him, my goodness, what he did? Master Carol and him stood where they were, radiate that love, and the people that he attracted changed. Not because he wanted them to change. They just radiated that love. And you know what? When he did healing, I knew he could heal on the spot. But he said, that's not my job. I just provide the healing. Healers should just provide the healing to infiltrate the matrix within the body that created that disease. See, the disease is a matrix, especially cancer, right? Think about that. And so he said, I understood that when he sent his love, and the infiltrate is not even the right word, and the cells of even the person that doesn't believe in his type of healing, their cells got it, and it started to regenerate itself. So isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
I think so. Kahu, I beg to differ with you. Kahu was not trapped in the matrix.
No, I mean, I don't want to say he was trapped in the matrix. That's not what I said. What I said was he could elevate out of the matrix because he understood the third dimension.
Yeah, but he didn't have to die to do that.
No, but when he died, he did release the matrix. That's for sure.
Okay, that's semantics right there. Okay. So,
He released his physical body
Yes.
from the matrix of the physical world.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
so how is it his energy is still here? Is he part of this matrix? If I can feel his energy?
What is your answer to that? Why is his
Well,
energy
I'm
so
asking
good?
you because you said that he released himself from the matrix.
Yes.
From the physical matrix.
From the being physical. He doesn't have to be physical any longer.
Oh, that's what I'm trying to do. Create a hologram for him.
And why are you doing that?
Because it's the world of creation.
Okay.
I mean, where did Steve Jobs? If Steve Jobs says, where would we have an Apple computer if they didn't have that kind of thinking? Would the Tesla electric car will electricity be available to us? No. That's what I'm trying to understand through this question.
Uh-huh.
Lemurians knew that they were abundant. So you thought to think is to create, like you said earlier.
Uh-huh.
So whatever you can conceive, you can achieve because you know it's abundant,
Yes,
right?
I agree.
So I want to speak to that because then, there's in the write-up and from the book, the excerpt from the book, they talk about stepping stone and everything is a manifestation of thought. So one of the first things I learned as a teacher is the self-fulfilling prophecies. What I tell a student, if a teacher or a parent tells a student, you're dumb, you're stupid, you're not going to learn, that's the matrix that's created for that student. I mean, when I heard that inner city kids, they can't learn, because of XYZ. And then I went, no, that doesn't feel right to me.
Question.
So
Is the teacher creating the matrix or does the matrix exist and they're in that matrix?
That's right.
that is, according to this definition, a matrix is the environment or context in which something such as a society develops and grows.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's what's the belief system is the matrix. So let's say the matrix, I love the story about Senator Cory Booker, who went and lived in the inner city to help those students create a different understanding of themselves. And they can learn. And there was a matrix of belief system that said, no, these inner city kids can't learn. So what is the self-fulfilling prophecy regarding the children from the inner city? So for me, in terms of my involvement in the educational world, is first, what do I believe? What is my matrix about education? What is my matrix and belief system about family life? What is my matrix and belief system about what we do at Honolulu Church of Light? What I believed about healing is, when I first started, is different than what I believe now.
That's right.
And then, because Kahu told me, just as long as a person walks in the door and says, I want a healing, you go in there and you give love. What he does outside is his choice. But then he comes back. And he
So
asks
is
for
there a
healing.
matrix within these walls?
I think there is. I believe there is. And the matrix expands as we understand what the Lemurians were living and talking about.
Okay.
Because my matrix of energy about this understanding of the Lemurian legacy shifted over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So so this question I think is great because my thinking of abundance was on physical abundance. Because after Peter had passed from this earth plane, I kept thinking, how am I going to make things how I'm going to live.
So then our thinking should switch, right? If the thinking is, this is a huge world where I can, to think is to create, and I can create anything from love, right? That is I think this is I think that's how the Lemurians thought about abundance. If we know that we have all what it takes to create it, to create what we really want to bring us joy in life, I think that's it. And we create it.
Part of what you read here is that the Lemurians felt abundant with what they had. They recognized the abundance of what they had, and I didn't get the sense of a longing like we long for stuff. We want this from Macy's, or we want that from Long's, or we want this. I think the Lemurians were just happy and satisfied with what they had, and they felt abundant. Right?
Yeah, but if the satisfaction is right there, how does one evolve then? If there's no longing to create something new,
They love where they are.
I don't think.
I
don't think
don't think they got stuck though.
Yeah.
Because I think what happens is when you're happy where you are actually sending vibrations out, and you start to make a difference. And one person starts to make a difference because there are others who recognize that same vibration, and then things change.
Yes.
Things transform. And I don't think it's consciously doing it, but it's not, I am doing this to do that. You're doing it just because it's who you are. You
That's
are
right.
being.
So is that a matrix
Just who you are.
when all this love is coalesced? Is that a matrix?
But I think the word is getting overused,
Yes.
and we're getting to a point where we would need like a scientific definition in order to continue the discussion. But I think that the word is nice because it allows us to connect with this biology of belief. And it allows us to connect to that so that at least from our discussion, people have a general understanding, we have the same general understanding, but our beliefs are all different, right? But that's the operational definition thing.
Gail, someone?
Gail.
On the computer.
Oh.
Sandra.
Hi,
She said, the matrix seems to present a challenge to some people to express or practice unconditional love, as though such a practice is too difficult for them. So withholding love seems easier for them. Then they justify withholding love by imposing ridiculous conditions such the person for whom they're withholding their love. So if they would simply try to practice reversing that thought process, then eventually their love can start to flow again. So as you folks are talking and I'm reading this, there's like the will of the word, or
Will in the
The
word.
will in the word.
So we have choices what we want to do. Even though it could be simple, the withholding love, but that's the choice. And the choice to me guides the journey. Because they have a choice to take this road, or to that one, or to go here, go there. And that's part of creation too, right?
It is. That's the thing. Even the good, our judgment of what's good and bad on the journey, that is a judgment. So if I was to do, if I'm right here and I veer off to something that people would say is negative, who's to tell me that it was a negative path? Because I had to take that path in order to gather more information for my soul, right?
Right.
Learning all this.
Right. So, I think we're getting it. So, it's to remove ourselves from this, from the reality of yin and yang, and just go into love, like Anne says, just and what's her name? Sandra's saying the same thing, or we're all, but it's all about choosing love, even that love, unconsciously puts me in a so-called negative path. I have to take that path, right?
Another element that we're talking about here that we didn't really, kind of talking around it is, what about our blueprint? What about the life plan that
That's
we
right.
put together, right? So maybe that's in your life plan to do that. And the element of, understanding abundance and elevating the love, there's an element of timing here, right? In our blueprint, where this happens, this happens, this happens, right? It doesn't, you can't force these things sometimes. We just have to heal, keep healing, keep finding more love, and then the blueprint unfolds, right? So
Okay.
for what Sandra said, I would first say I, that when I focus on other people and what they might be trying to do to me, or what's happening outside of me, I lose my power right there. The empowerment comes from when I can say, I choose this path, right? And I did that in love for me, and only I can understand that. So
That's right.
Yeah.
So your blueprint unfolds before you do the journey. That's in the blueprint.
Okay, explain that.
Because you're in that blueprint, right?
Mhm.
And your heart knows that this is the direction that you need to take to gather more information.
Right,
So,
to heal.
yeah.
I want to acknowledge what Sandra had shared, because as I was listening to you, what I understood of what she said, she's describing our human journey, and then
So
this is what we go through, and then in the end, the choice is where do we get? And Master Kriel said it all the time, and Kahu, going back into love. I didn't quite understand that years ago when I first heard it. What do you mean going back into love? I am love, So it's this describing our humanness and living on this earth plane, and then making choices. So I want to acknowledge what she shared. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sandra. Yeah. And get this book because it's really great. There's a lot in here for us right now.
It's great
fantastic.
because it will guide you to unfold your own Lemurian legacy, and when you do that, you can restart your journey here on Earth. And if that Lemurian legacy is all about love, my goodness, can you imagine that when you begin to think, to know, not think, to know, that this world on Earth as a light worker, Master Kira says you're no longer human. You're a light worker. So what does that mean? Were they Lemurians light workers?
yes.
I have another question in general about this book. Is that my feeling is, because the Lemurians went, like we have our the third dimension, right? We're shifting into the fourth and then the fifth, and the Lemurians did the same thing. As I read this book, I feel that the Lemurians, this is the fourth dimensional Lemurian experience, and because it is in that light that Master Kirill brought it forth through Kahu, that we can read this and aspire to that, or see this is where I can understand what the Lemurians went through. I'm going through this too.
So
How
you're
do you
saying,
feel about that?
so you're saying it's a fourth dimension, what?
Of Lemuria, first
Really?
life,
It's in here.
common time. So it feels like he's writing about the Lemurians in common time. What do you guys think out there? You have to read the book to know what I'm talking about, of course, but the Lemurians had the 3 eras, right? First life, common time, and transition. We're shifting from first life into common time. How do you feel about
Well,
it?
no, on page 67, so if you have the book, look at page 67. And then it says,
Book club.
well, now you've got the matrix. This is towards the end, the last paragraph. And so I say to you, my friends, what was the difference between Lemuria and now? Well, now you've got the matrix. Back then, they didn't have the matrix.
Oh, beautiful.
They simply chose every word as thought,
As
though it was going to be manifest. They knew that if they erred in some fashion and said something like, and then it goes over the whole thing about the headache. But it says, I mean, it's the word, the black and white. It's black and white. They didn't have
The
the
matrix.
matrix that we have.
So, in the vision, hearing that, can I not be this, not be part of the matrix and start creating? Because I know my abundance is love. And in that love, I'm able to create whatever I want to create from love. Whether it's a disease, healing a diseased body, or be a healer. I'm a healer when I touch that person or focus on that tumor, so to speak. And all the love will go into that tumor to make it disappear. Could that happen?
Yes, because you need to remember who you are. And in the matrix, we're not remembering. So we need to remember who we really are and be. So that's the thing, right?
So that's our next step then.
Be.
Conscious creators. Be in that Lemurian state of abundance and create the life that we have, that we want on this earth. And when we're happy, the world is happy, right?
Love the life we have.
And then it doesn't matter what's going on in the political world. Every country has their own matrix.
Or you can also look at, if you are of that persuasion, you can look at what's going on in the world and have a different understanding of what's happening in the world, and based on what your understanding of that is, right? Out of judgment, perhaps.
Well, can you have that understanding without judgment?
I think it's possible.
Personally, I think we all judge. We judge good or we judge bad. We judge neutral. There is some kind of thought out there. And whatever we do, I'm thinking, from my point of view, is a judgment. And then whatever we think will determine the next step I take. Whatever I think determines the next step I take. Where will I go
Good.
with those thoughts and those feelings? And again, it goes back to what Sandra said. This is our human experience. We're living in the human world and remembering our spiritualness.
I have a question for you. You said depending on what you're feeling, your judgment in the present will determine your next step.
Something happens to me.
I think it's, what if it's just a thought of, okay, I'm going to create this.
That is-
Based on, without anything in your thought saying, oh, you can't do that because of this, because in childhood you were this, and because you came from black, therefore you cannot have this. So, but if you wanted to create, it's like, I love, I love the Apple computer. I don't think Steve Jobs listened to the people that said, "Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that." He just said, "This is what I'm going to do," and all because of his passion to bring forth this new computer that will change people's lives. And then all the people came together and helped him build it. Right? So does judgment based on your past have anything to do with how you're going to create your something that will make you happy?
Well, can I say one thing about that? Because I think Steve Jobs, that's his journey, and was his passion and his life plan to bring that forth, and he had that intention. But in our own lives, I would not be who I am now had not everything happened to me and in my life that brought me to this point. So I'm not going to look back on my life and say, "Oh, I wish I hadn't had those parents," or I wish I hadn't had that experience, because I know that everything that happened to me is what brings me to this point now. So I want to honor what I did up to this point and then go forward in the way that I choose.
Of course,
like you said.
we're doing that every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
How we honor it is it's a repetitive passion. That's how we honor those. But then, can we come to a point as light workers say, "Okay, did that, done that, I bless it," and then start creating, looking at getting in touch with your heart blueprint, and say, "Oh, there's another journey that there's more that I can do in this life that can help advance my soul, that will also help Mother Earth during her shifting process." You know what I'm saying?
What do you think the answer to that is?
Yeah, we can say enough of the past,
Yes, exactly.
and we don't have to dwell on it anymore. And whatever you want to choose to make you happy is like, hey, I'm going to go for that.
Got it.
Right. So that's coming out of the matrix, the old matrix, the old way of thinking.
Maybe it's learning how to play the Matrix.
Oh, Steve Jobs.
I think that is the truth. There is a game at play, and then you choose how you represent yourself in this game. And there are rules that are governing this third dimension, and rules that govern the fourth. There are different rules, and you have to play by the rules.
And so, ladies, we're almost coming to an end. So, what's your bottom line from this discussion? Does it change your view?
Yes, everyone should take some time and sit down and write all of those things that you are grateful for. I did a 28-day journey of doing different aspects of this, and it's really mind-bending. So I invite you to do so.
Okay. Corinna?
I would like to give that a thumbs up and okay that, because it's about an attitude of gratitude, and that's really what the Lemurians had. And beyond abundance, which is the beautiful topic we had today, there's so much that we can learn from the Lemurians and what Master Guide Kirill and Kahu have shared with us about that. And I feel so grateful for all of that and for this discussion today. It's been great.
Sue?
I will continue to reflect on what abundance and what love means, and how I reflect it in my life, and to be mindful of my thought patterns, so I can create daily what I define to be joyful and peaceful and loving people.
Cool. Gail?
Let me just read to you what Pat Cosby.
Oh.
She says different dimensions have different matrix.
Yes.
3D question can be answered by 3D matrix awareness and or by a multidimensional matrix awareness. Nice format. The view goes light workers, goddesses, goddess.
But the
God is Pat.
there is, yes, I agree with Pat, and thank you for that. They agree with that each dimension has their own metric. But one thing is constant, is love. The Creator's love, meaning the Creator from I love. So that's what I'm thankful to Pat Cosby, because she always stimulate my heart and mind. So that create a constant, no matter what dimension you are, whether you're a human being doing the constant is love. So I love Anne for sharing her thought about that, and
That's my share with Anne, because I'm happy that we have a place like this to share the love and to experience the love. And each time we do that, we get even more love.
and what I got from today is like, we don't ever stop being creators. You have to keep asking questions. I have this thing that Master Carol said earlier. The master knows no question. The master knows no answer. The master is the question, or something like that. Something like that, which I live by that. We have to keep questioning, to get ourselves out of the box, to raise our vibration. Anyway, I love this. So Kahu, Carol, I feel your heart, and I feel your my gosh, wisdom. It's embedded in our cells, and I know you both keep loving us to stretch our boundaries and create new matrix, if that's what you are into. I know that our world on this earth, we can help. We are helping the Mother Earth when we watch our thoughts, be conscious of our thoughts, and live the life that we really want here on earth. Because Anyway, I thank you for weaving your love and light with us. Together we provide the shelter. That we provide shelter. That we need through this great shift in consciousness. Please imagine a beautiful life. I want to say thank you to Kahu Fred Sterling. I mean, you have been although I miss you in the physical, you're there with me all the time, and I feel, and you hug me in your wholeness of love. He and Master Carol, my goodness, you're still tough with me, and I'm grateful. I thank you for sharing your spirit of amazing love and grace for humanity. They together brought onto this earth amazing healing tools, the signature cell healing, the 5-breath self-healing meditation, the 10 principles of consciously creating, and Carol's Lemurian numerology. And I really want to say, the 10 principles of consciously creating, read that out loud, and where it says, my friends, put your name in it. Put your name instead of my friend. Put your name in it, and it's like, it takes you into another realm of understanding the 10 principles. And it's like having a hero session all to yourself. I invite you to join us this Healing Sunday, April 2nd, here at the Honolulu Church of Light, where we bring the community together to heal together in love. And the topic will be, the healing focus will be Jesus's message to his female disciples. That's good for Easter, right? And the passion of the Christ. So, a message from Kahu, of course, your journey, he reminds us to say your journey on earth is all about healing the self, and you heal the world. You will know when you know. So send your healing requests, and we'll put it in this healing bowl. This is such an awesome, awesome focus every night at 11:30. And we'll put your healing requests there. Gail, do you remember that woman that we sent, that Mother Yasmin? Have you had any?
But I was thinking of emailing you.
Cool. And love, again, love makes us peaceful and prosperous. Imagine a beautiful world for yourself and your family and your friends, and we wish you many opportunities to say Amazing Grace. And Master Carol, again, reiterates that you are a light worker. We are no longer human. So this is what the discussion is about. We are light workers. Are we subject to the human way of life? That's a question. So, change, my friends, he says, is the essence. Essence is love, and love is what you desire. Love is what you are. So question yourself every day. Every day. What is your meaning of abundance? And I think you'll find out that, hey, we are living the Lemurian way of life when we choose it. So thank you all for joining us today. Anything more?
Just from Pat again,
Yeah.
Crosby. She said, "This is a wonderful place to explore and expand our understanding of the beautiful Tita L teaching. Mahalo."
Mahalo.
Thank you.
We love you, and have a beautiful life. Until next time.
Okay, wave everybody.
See you on Sunday.
Love you.